Hi, this is Ian McKell, and you are with Infinite A Industries, and I'm your principal engineer. And today we are going to discuss human AI OS for regulated industries. And so we're going to talk about some of the regulatory guardrails and safeguards that we've put in place. Of course, nothing is absolute, but we do what is requested of us from a regulatory standpoint, and we go above and beyond in order to provide the most rigorous systems that are feasible. So, first, we'll just discuss different areas that are worth mentioning that help an organization to comply with regulations when they are in an industry that is highly regulated, like a medical industry, like a financial industry, like a transportation industry, etc. So, one of the things that is unique about our application is that because we have a web holographic design for our desktop, there is spatial interaction and spatial data, and our system is able to detect anomalies via the desktop interface. So that's an area where an organization can gain insight into what's going on with their system. One of the additional things that we do, which is really the most important, is that we have humans in the loop for every decision that takes place on our platform. There's nothing on our system that is done automatically. Every decision by every application or every action by every application has to be initiated by a human. And this way we have full accountability. There's there's nothing that happens without the will of a human. The next area that we'll touch upon is the fact that our non-agentic applications are air gapped. And so any user application where there's some type of AI assistant, we human or we air gap that and make sure that those servers aren't running on the same servers that the desktop and all the other applications are running on. So those are isolated, and you'll see when you follow those applications that you're just going to a link as opposed to just going to another application within the same um, domain. So you'll see that isolation between applications, and that way you don't run into the potential of someone injecting something inside one of the user interfaces for the assistants. Uh, if that were to be attempted, is it's gated from the rest of the systems. In addition to that, we have blockchain logging across the operating system, and that's something that's unique. There isn't any other operating system, any major operating system that I know of that has a blockchain natively integrated within it. And also, the unique thing about our blockchain is that it's per application. So it's not like one of the other blockchains that's distributed that um is all expansive. This one is constrained to each application. And so if something were to happen to the blockchain within one application, it doesn't corrupt all of the applications and their logging. Additionally, each of the applications are isolated, and so there isn't one thread that's running through all of the different applications. They're all separate. So if one application were to fail for any particular reason, it doesn't necessarily mess up the operations of all of the other applications. So all of the applications are modular and isolated. Our infrastructure was engineered to be deterministic, wholly deterministic. As LLM models and agentic models are not reliable, we wanted to create, in the midst of the chaos, we wanted to create an island of peace and serenity where you can truly have peace of mind because you know that there aren't any AI agents or any LLMs that are tracking your data or potentially have access to and can delete your data. So we just really wanted to create a stabilizing space for enterprise. Another thing is that we capture minimal data. So we have to capture age verification data due to regulations that have come about within the past year. And then, of course, we have to capture know your customer and anti money laundering information. And so that's standard information across any platform, anywhere you would go on the internet. So outside of that, we are not capturing any more data than we have to. Um, as an organization that truly respects enterprises' privacy and the privacy of individuals. Also, we implement through Human AI OS data sovereignty, and that means that data stays on the device. And so, even if you had two computers in the same room, you guys are on the same network, since you're running on different instances, right? Then the data just stays on one particular device. So you can't hop from one device and then hop to your other device on the same browser. Those are two different instances, and the data would not travel with you or would not sync across devices. And that's a feature and not a bug. We want to completely isolate instances so that anything that went wrong with your particular system on that device doesn't necessarily waterfall and trickle and permeate all throughout the system and the network. And then finally, as far as agentic AI and generative AI, there are no AI models, and especially action taking LLM or AI or agentic AI models that we integrate into our system. We focus on non agentic artificial intelligence and not necessarily agentic action taking intelligence. We don't necessarily believe that the system and our framework needs to embed systems that make decisions for humans. We believe that humans are best positioned to be the ones in the driver's seat to make decisions and to utilize AI, whether agentic or generative AI, as merely a tool. All right, that summarizes how human AI OS is beneficial for organizations that are in industries that are highly regulated. Hopefully, this gives you enough information to act on. Thank you for your time and talk to you soon.